Right now, the average American household is carrying about $6,500 in credit card debt, and roughly 60% of the country is living paycheck to paycheck, including a genuinely shocking share of people earning six figures. Now hold those two numbers up next to the feed for a second. The vacations, the trucks, the kitchen renovations, the people you're quietly measuring yourself against. Statistically, most of them are broke too. And that's not an accusation. That's a rescue. Because keeping up is a full-time job, it pays negative money and nobody actually hired you. Today, you get to quit. Let me show you why the whole competition is fake and how to walk off the field. Here's the plan. 6 line items on today's receipt. 1. Everyone's faking it. The feed shows the purchase, never the statement. 2. Paycheck to paycheck at 100 grand. How lifestyle inflation quietly eats every raise you'll ever get. 3. Money dysmorphia. Why you can feel broke while you're actually fine, or feel fine while you're actually broke. 4. The proximity trap. How your 5 closest friends set your budget without either of you noticing. 5. Visible wealth is usually a costume, plus the honest counterpoint because wanting nice things is not the crime here. And 6. Status is a treadmill with no finish line, and why the only winnable race is against last year you. Then the escape, it's called stealth wealth. It's 3 moves, and it's easier than anything you've tried so far. Let's pull back the curtain. First, how did keeping up become a full-time job? Because somebody built the office. For almost all of human history, you compared yourself to the people you could actually see. Your street, your family, maybe your town. Your reference group was small, and most of them lived roughly like you. Then the feed arrived, and suddenly you're shown 500 strangers' single best day, every day, forever. And understand, that's not a side effect. Comparison is the product. The feeling that your life is slightly too small is what keeps you scrolling, and what keeps you scrolling is what gets sold. Nobody chose this arrangement. It was engineered, and it's working exactly as designed. So before we itemize anything, I want one image burned into your head for the rest of this episode. Every glamorous photo you've ever envied has a receipt taped to the back of it. You just never get to flip the frame around. The beach shot. Flip it. There's the card balance riding at 20-something%. The car in the driveway, flip it, a lease, due on the 1st forever. The watch in the gym mirror, flip it, financed, in 12 easy installments. The feed is a wall of frames all facing outward, and the entire economy of keeping up depends on you never seeing the back. Today, we're flipping every single frame. Line item 1, everyone's faking it. And I need you to hear that as good news, because it is. This is the most relieving sentence in personal finance. The feed shows you the purchase, never the statement. It shows the new truck, not the 72-month loan underneath it. It shows the infinity pool, not the balance that paid for the flights, still compounding away back home. It shows the renovated kitchen, not the line of credit that built it. There is no filter for a bank balance, so the bank balance simply never appears. And here's what that does to your head. Every time you open the feed, you're comparing your entire real financial life, the rent, the insurance, the surprise dental bill, against a stranger's single best moment, cropped and color-corrected. You're behind the scenes versus their highlight reel. Of course you feel behind. You're comparing a documentary to a movie trailer. But run the real numbers. National credit data puts the average household around $6,500 in credit card debt. Not the mortgage, not the car loan, just the card. And that average includes plenty of the exact people whose photos make your chest tighten on a Sunday night. Statistically, a meaningful slice of the accounts you envy are financed right down to the sunglasses. Most of them aren't even lying. They're posting the good parts, the same way you do. But add it up, and you get a world that looks about 20 grand richer than it is, everywhere you look, all day long. So you're not losing a race. You're chasing an image the people posting it can't afford either. Let that be a relief, not a cynicism. The race you thought you were losing does not exist. Line item 2, Paycheck to paycheck at $100,000. National surveys keep landing on the same uncomfortable number. Roughly 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And the part nobody expects, that includes a large share of six-figure earners. People clearing $8,000 a month, staring at the account before payday like everyone else. How is that even possible? One phrase: lifestyle inflation. Every raise you've ever gotten was quietly absorbed within a few months. The better job came with the better apartment. The bonus became the better car. The six-figure milestone became the neighborhood, the private daycare, the vacations that finally matched the job title. Each upgrade felt reasonable, earned even, because it was what people at your new level do. That's the trap wearing a suit. At every income, there's a normal waiting for you, perfectly sized to consume the whole paycheck. Which is why I need you to separate two ideas your brain keeps merging. Income is not wealth. Income is water flowing through a pipe. Wealth is what's left in the bucket. And a bigger pipe with a wide-open drain fills nothing. It just makes a more impressive noise. The person earning 60 grand who keeps 15% of it is building actual wealth. The person earning 140 who keeps nothing is performing wealth while living one missed paycheck from panic. And there are millions of them. So if you've ever felt broke on a salary that should feel comfortable, this is the mechanism, not a discipline failure. Nobody chose to spend 100% of a growing income. The spending kept pace automatically because the default at every level is engineered to fit exactly. The gap between what you earn and what you spend is the only number in this game that compounds. Guard the gap. Line item 3. Money dysmorphia. That's the term researchers have started using for a very modern glitch. When your feelings about your money have detached from the facts of your money. And it runs in both directions. Direction 1. You're objectively doing fine, saving something, debt under control, ahead of most of the country, and you still feel broke, anxious, behind. Because your reference points aren't your numbers, they're curated strangers. You're benchmarking your real life against a scrolling wall of best days, so no matter what your balance says, the feeling says, not enough. Direction 2 is the mirror image. People who feel fine while the floor is quietly disappearing. The card creeping up, nothing saved, because everyone around them spends the same way, so it feels normal. Same distorted mirror, opposite lie. And here's why it matters. You don't make money decisions with a spreadsheet. You make them with a feeling, and then the spreadsheet takes the hit. Feel poorer than you are, and you either give up, what's the point, I'll never catch up, or you spend to close the emotional gap, buying the props of the life the feed told you everyone else has. Feel richer than you are, and you keep swiping until the statement stages an intervention. Either way, the distortion gets expensive. The fix is almost insultingly simple. Measure against numbers, not strangers. Your net worth versus last year. Your savings rate versus last quarter. Those numbers don't post, don't crop, and don't lie. The chart that scares you is describing outliers, and the feed that shames you is describing fiction. Your own trend line is the only honest mirror you'll ever own. Look at that one. Line item 4, the proximity trap. Here's an uncomfortable one. Your spending quietly drifts toward the average of the 5 people closest to you. Not because you're weak, because you're human, and humans calibrate normal off whoever's nearby. Think about how it actually happens. Nobody pressures you. There's just a restaurant the group always picks, and it's a $60 night. There's a group trip forming in the chat, and the number has 4 digits, and I can't afford it feels like announcing a disease. There's a round of drinks bought in turn, a wedding weekend, a neighborhood where the cars all look a certain way, and yours is starting to feel like an apology. Every one of those is an invitation, and every invitation is also an invoice. Say yes to all of them, and you're living the average of 5 other budgets, none of which are yours, and some of which, remember line item 1, are running on debt you can't see, which means you can go broke, keeping up with people who are going broke, keeping up with you. Round and round. Everyone performing for everyone. Nobody able to afford the show. Now, the answer is not to ditch your friends. Your people are the best thing on your balance sheet. The answer is to stop letting proximity write the budget. Suggest the cheap plan yourself and watch the whole group exhale because someone finally said it. Decline the trip and stay wildly enthusiastic about the friendship. Say the sentence, "That's not in my budget this month," out loud once, and feel how the sky fails to fall. Somebody in every group has to go first. It might as well be the one who's seen the receipts. Line item 5. Visible wealth is usually a costume. Almost everything your brain reads as rich can be rented by a broke person. The luxury car, leased $500 a month, due forever. The watch, financed in installments. The designer bag, the bottle service, the resort, one swipe each on a card that's already carrying a balance. None of it proves wealth. It proves access to monthly payments. And in this country, monthly payments are handed out like napkins. Meanwhile, actual wealth is almost aggressively invisible. It's a paid-off car with a scratch on the bumper. It's an index fund silently compounding in an account nobody will ever photograph. It's a mortgage that's shrinking, an emergency fund that's boring, a net worth with no costume at all. The wealthiest person on your street is usually not the one you'd guess, precisely because the money that stays is the money that doesn't perform. So we end up with a cruel little irony. The look of money and the keeping of money are usually opposites. The costume costs the fortune it's imitating. Now, the honest counterpoint, because this is not an anti-nice things sermon. Wanting nice things isn't a sin. Quality is real. If a beautiful watch genuinely moves you and you can buy it outright without touching your future, buy the watch, wear it in great health, that's what money is for. The line is simple. Paying in full for something you love is a purchase. Financing something to look like someone is a costume, with a rental fee that compounds. Same watch. Entirely different transaction. One decorates your life, the other decorates your debt. Before any flex purchase, ask the question that costs nothing. Is this for me or for the audience? You already know which answers survive it. Line item 6. Status is a treadmill with no finish line. Suppose you actually win. You get the raise, the car, the kitchen, the trip, the feed-worthy life, fully assembled. Here's what happens next, every single time. The finish line moves. The new income unlocks a new reference group, and the new reference group has nicer stuff. The promotion puts you in rooms with people who summer places. There is always someone richer, and the treadmill is engineered so that reaching any level simply reveals the next one. Psychologists have watched this loop for decades. People adapt to any upgrade within months. The glow fades, the baseline resets, and the hunger returns at the same intensity, just wearing more expensive shoes. Chasing status with spending is drinking salt water. The drink itself makes you thirstier. And this, right here, is the engine of everything this series is about. Normal is broke. And nothing on the whole receipt keeps normal broke quite like status, because status is the only line item that markets itself as the reason for all the others. The car payment, the celebrations, the upgrades, the image, they all report to this one. But there's a version of the game you can actually win, and it's the one nobody's watching. You versus last year you. Is your net worth higher than 12 months ago? Is your debt smaller? Your invested balance bigger? Your sleep better? That scoreboard doesn't reset when someone richer walks past, and someone richer always will. Beating strangers is a treadmill. Beating your own trend line is a staircase. Same effort. One of them actually goes somewhere. Step off the belt. There's no medal at the end anyway, because there is no end. So here's the escape. And it has a name. Stealth wealth. 3 moves. Move 1. Pick exactly one visible splurge you genuinely love, not the one that photographs well, the one you'd still want if no one could ever see it. The car, the kitchen, the guitar, the trips. 1. Pay for it in full. Enjoy it without a flicker of guilt, and let it be your answer to, but I don't want to live like a monk. You don't have to. 1 real pleasure, fully owned, beats 10 financed props. Move 2. Make everything else invisible and automatic. The day your paycheck lands, money moves by itself. into the retirement account, the index fund, the debt you're killing, before your eyes or your feed get a vote. Automation is stealth wealth's whole engine. It doesn't rely on willpower. It doesn't post. It just quietly stacks the only kind of wealth that's real, the kind nobody sees. And move 3, the feed detox. Go through the accounts you follow and ask one question. Does this cost me money? Does watching it make my life feel too small, my car too old, my kitchen too plain? Unfollow every account that fails. That's not weakness. That's pest control for your reference points. Fill the space with people who make you want to build instead of buy. Give it 30 days and watch your baseline quietly reset to your actual life when nobody's performing at you. That's the whole escape. One visible joy, invisible automation everywhere else, and a curated set of eyes. Keeping up was a full-time job. Consider this your resignation letter, now. Somebody came to mind while you watched this. The friend grinding themselves down trying to keep up with people who are secretly financed to the eyebrows. Tag them in the comments or just send them 3 words, everyone's faking it. It might be the most relieving thing they hear all year. As always, this is education, not financial advice. I'm showing you the machine, not managing your money. Next time, the finale, opting out. We unroll the entire lifetime receipt of normal. The car, the fees, the party, the upgrades, the image. Add up what it all costs, and then we tear the whole thing up. I'll see you there.